fan violence in the arena, Mario. This time it happened in Boston. And then again, I'm not surprised because I kind of called it. But anyway, a fan, his name was Cole Buckley. He threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving. Not only was he sent out of TD Garden, he was escorted out of TD Garden, Mario, but he was also arrested and charged with assault and battery, which I find very interesting. Because the other two weren't arrested, but hey, it's Boston. Boston is a pretty crazy city. Cole Buckley, again, like I said, he was escorted out of the arena for throwing a water ball that nearly missed Kyrie Irving. And I'll put the video in the description down below. Like it just missed him by like a couple inches. And I have a quote from Kyrie Irving. He said, like, well, you can see that people just feel very entitled out here. They paid for their tickets. Great. I'm grateful that they're coming in to watch a great performance, but we're not at the theater. We're not throwing tomatoes and other random stuff at the people that are performing. You're seeing a lot of the old ways coming up. It has been that way in history in the terms of entertainment performers and sports for a long period of time, and just underlying racism and just treating people like they're in a human zoo, throwing stuff at people, saying things at a certain point where it gets to be too much. According to Boston police, the man is charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon and will be arraigned Tuesday, which I find this to be pretty interesting. But then again, like I said, it is Boston, so you know it's Boston. It's a pretty crazy city. And I have a quote from the spokesman for TD Garden. He said, and I quote, "We will support and provide assistance to Boston police as this incident is under review. We have zero tolerance for violations of our guest code of conduct, and the guest is subject to a lifetime ban from TD Garden." A quote from Celtics president, he said, and I quote, "I think that we take these kind of things seriously. Uh, I never heard of any of that from any player that I've ever played with in my 26 years in Boston. I never heard that before from Kyrie, and I talked to him quite a bit, so I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. We're just playing basketball. Players can say what they want." And I have a quote from Kevin Durant. He said, and I quote, "Fans got to grow up at some point. I know that being in the house for a year and a half with the pandemic gets a lot of people on edge, got a lot of people stressed out. But when you come to these games, you have to realize what these men are human. We are not animals. We are not in the circus. You're coming to a game is not all about you as a fan. So have some respect for the game. Have some respect for the human beings. And have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at a basketball game or spitting on players or tossing popcorn. So grow the F up and enjoy the game. It's bigger than you." And before I continue, because I kind of have to start off with this since this involves my team. The source for this was Malika Andrews and Tim Bontemps, who was ESPN staff writer. So let me go first, okay? I honestly, Mario, I'm not surprised that it happened in Boston because, like I just said before, it's Boston. It's toxic. You expect that, but that doesn't mean it's okay. You know what I mean? I don't want people to think that when I say that it is okay. No, it's not. I've been to a Celtics game and I've seen a lot of toxic Celtics. They're very bad. Um, but I don't understand why this happens. And I find it interesting that he was arrested and charged, because the other, like I mentioned, the other two weren't arrested. Am I saying it's wrong? No, but I just find it interesting because the other two weren't arrested. But it just doesn't make any sense to me, and Kyrie's right, they're not at a theater, we don't throw tomatoes at people, at random people and stuff like that while they're performing. That's just not what it is. You don't do that kind of stuff. Same thing with what KD said, he said that being cooped up in a house for a year and a half is stressful and everything, which it very much is, but that doesn't mean you get to come back into the arena and do things like this. I'm seeing this a lot more now, and I don't understand why people do it. You know what I mean? Now I want to draw your attention, and I'm gonna theorize that this is probably the reason why it's happened. I'm gonna draw your attention to something that Kyrie did before this happened. Something Kevin Garnett actually called him out for. Something a lot of people actually aren't talking about because of this. This overshadows this event that I'm about to mention. Before he went into that tunnel, he went to the Celtics logo, which this was so disrespectful, dude. And he rubs his foot on the Celtics logo in the middle of the court. And I'm glad Kevin Garnett brought that up because I actually saw that myself, But I'm glad Kevin Garnett brought it up because almost nobody was talking about that. They cared more about the ball being thrown at, which, I get, but when you really look at it, that's probably why that fan did that. But again, it's not okay for you to do that. As for Kyrie Irving, I got to be honest, that was, what he did to the logo was kind of disrespectful. I kind of felt a little disrespected by that. but I'm not gonna go into the arena and throw a bottle at him because he decided to disrespect the team. You know what I mean? I get you didn't have a good experience in Boston, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I kind of feel like that's the reason why that fan threw a bottle at him. But again, not only did you get a lifetime ban from TD Garden, but you got arrested in the process. You got charged with assault and battery in the process. You know what I mean? So this, expressing your anger towards Kyrie by throwing a bottle only got you into so much more trouble. So while Kyrie was a little disrespectful towards the team, the fan was just even more disrespectful. And it's all bringing back to my point, Mario. These players need to be protected, especially in a city like Boston, especially in an arena full of toxic fans like TD Garden. I love my city of Boston. I love TD Garden, but there are way too many toxic Celtics fans. Believe me, I'm part of the fan base, and I know a toxic fan when I see it. You know what I mean? I'm New England Rays. We're probably one of the most toxic fan bases there'll ever be. That's just that. You know what I mean? So especially in a city like Boston, you need to protect these players. You can't go into Boston thinking everything's going to be hunky dory on the walls. No, this is Boston, Massachusetts. This is TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Something like this is going to happen. And it's unfortunate that I have to say that, but it's Boston, like I said. It happens. We're toxic. What can I say? Not all of us are, but most of us. But yeah, man. If you're gonna look, okay, if you're gonna go to the arena, if you're gonna go to a game, fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm happy. But don't be going off and doing stuff like this. Just because we were cooped up in the house for a year and a half and we're finally being let back in the arena doesn't mean we get to do stuff like this. I don't think the players anticipated to play in front of their fans and then this stuff happens. You know what I mean? This is not what they came back for. This isn't what they came back to see. You know what I mean? So, um, I know we mentioned that the NBA was going to reinforce their rules a little bit more in regards to the fans and security. That hasn't happened yet, but if it does, we will let you guys know. But I really do think these players need more protection because at the end of the day, even though they're players, they're performing, they're still humans. You know what I mean? So, and when you really look at it, obviously with baseball, you got the netting and all of that. Around, especially around like the foul area, like you got the netting. In the outfield, you got the higher walls, and a lot of the time the bleachers aren't even at the walls. So it's a lot harder. Even though things like streaking in baseball is very, very common, it's still very difficult to get out on the field. You know what I mean? Same thing with football. With a lot of people in the stands in football games, those seats are very heavily guarded. In hockey, it's almost impossible to get onto the rink because it's all covered by the glass, around the rink, and that's just so the puck doesn't hit a fan, because those pucks hit you in the face. That's it. But in basketball, there are no walls around. You know what I mean? There are no walls around that, which is why that streaking thing happened in Philadelphia, which we'll talk about that in another video. But there's almost no protection from these fans because they're pretty much right there. Obviously right now it's a little different. I know the end zones, they don't have seats because of they keep the players a little bit further away. So, but at the end of the day, Mario, I just think these players need more protection because at the end of the day, they're humans too. So with that being said, to Kyrie Irving, even though you didn't have good experience in Boston, I'm gonna wish you the best of luck anyways, because unlike a lot of these Celtics fans, I am grateful that you even played for us to begin with. And I do apologize that this had to happen to you. And I do wish you the best of luck moving forward. Same thing with the Brooklyn Nets. Not too much luck because we still have to play you, even though we're gonna lose. But best of luck to you guys, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm just upset that this had to happen in my home city.
I almost agree with everything that you said, except for one thing. Okay, I could have been, yes, but I do not think it was because of what he did with the Celtics logo. I don't think it's that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't.
That's why I said I feel like that's why I didn't say that's
Right.
exactly what I mean.
Right. I disagree. I don't think that's what it was. I think again, Stephen A. talked about it. I think he's right. I think fans come in here with an agenda now to do that type of stuff. Okay, and now I think fans do anything they possibly can to get their little moments of fame, and it's sad. It really is sad. Okay, we went from popcorn throwing to spitting to racial slurs to um to the water bottle. Now, again, let me tell you something. Going as far as him getting arrested for battery, let's do some science for a second, okay, Nate? I have right here a water bottle, okay? It is filled up almost full. I mean, it's like I drink like probably like a quarter of it. All right. If this was, what do you think hurts more, Nate? If I throw this at somebody full or if I throw it at somebody empty?
Full.
Okay, so there's my question. I want to know exactly how much that water bottle was filled. I know what you people are probably going to say. That's a pretty silly thing to say. It's only a water bottle. No. Okay, try saying that if somebody like Nate over here who pitches 90 miles per hour throws that water bottle at your head. I want to know what you're going to say.
Eh, eh,
That's this full.
eh.
It's not going to work. Okay, let me tell you something. It's not gonna feel good. So it all again now if it's empty, even if Nate throws it as fast as he can, because it's an empty water bottle, I don't think it's really gonna hurt. You know, I don't think it's gonna hurt. Then again, I could be wrong. Now they said that the water bottle was again they said it was a dangerous weapon or a deadly weapon. Again, I'm not sure. Do I think this guy should have been arrested? In this case, it's tough. It really is tough, Nate. It's a tough case, because you could say yes, because again, depending on okay, because if the water bottle was filled and it hit Kyrie the wrong way, it could have hurt him. You could say no, because again, at the end of the day, it's just a water bottle. But here's what I'll say. Unless they don't get arrested, I just think this stuff's gonna keep happening. And again, I know there's the Wizards one, which again, that video again we're gonna post that as well today too. It's really tough, but the NBA, they got to, again, their policy has to be more strict, because if not, this is just going to keep on happening. Okay, I think there needs to be more heavy security. I think there needs to be more strict punishments. And if that means arresting a person, so be it, okay? There are a lot of people who don't like Kyrie Irving are going to be like, he deserved it. Come on, guys, really? Like, let's be real here. He deserved it? Like, stop it. Stop it. Like, seriously. Okay, nobody deserves those types of things. And Kevin Durant, I think, said it best. He said, look, we're not in a circus, okay? We're human beings, just like all of yous, okay? So grow the F up and enjoy the game. That's what you paid. I can't believe people are paying for their tickets and then they're throwing them away by doing stupid stuff like this.
And those tickets ain't even cheap either. I've been trying to find one. You people are wasting it just doing this.
It's messed up, Nate. It really is. But regardless, it's a tough situation to see whether that fan deserved to be arrested or not. Usually when you're arrested, you're held until again, like you're released or whatever the case might be. I'm not sure what's going on involving this fan. I know he's gonna have to go to court. We'll see what happens there. But again, I really do think that it all depends. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it's just something as tiny as how filled that bottle was. I'm gonna be real. Because the reason why is because if you throw an empty water bottle at somebody, no matter how hard you throw, most likely it's not going to hurt them because it's empty. If you throw one that's more filled, the water bottle is more dense, so it is more dangerous than an empty water bottle. But regardless, if this was like a first time, I say no. Okay, if this was the first time, I say no. Okay, but this continues happening, which this is probably the Boston Celtics taking a stand to any fans. Look, if you decide to do something like this, we will arrest you. Okay, I know you people got lives, but so we will arrest you. And it shouldn't be happening. Fans should not be doing stuff like this. Okay, and if it means that the security needs to go arrest these fans, then so be it. If that's what stops them from doing these types of things, so be it. Because if they continue to do this, we can't enjoy the game that we love. I'm gonna be honest. It's as simple as that. So with that being, if this was the first time, I'd say no, because it hasn't happened a lot. And not only that, again, it doesn't change like the incident or the crime itself. I understand that. But at the same time, this just keeps on happening. And I think again, the security arrested this man just to send a message to anybody who's going to try this again. And it seems like an everyday basis we talk about these types of things. We shouldn't be talking about these types of things. These people are, I'm going to be honest, they're acting like idiots. Simple as that. You're acting like idiots. You buy a ticket and you're throwing it away. That's what you're doing. Okay? I'll say, okay, if this was the first time, the security guard would have kicked them out. Okay? I don't know if he would have been charged with battery or assault. I'm not sure, but I think because this keeps on happening, I think the Celtics wanted to make a statement. If you try this, you're going to get arrested. It's as simple as that, and you're going to be charged. So hopefully that, kind of strains everybody up to realize, like, hey, we paid for this ticket. We shouldn't be doing stupid stuff like this. So With that being said, again, I'm sorry that Kyrie Irving had to go through this, and to the other players, I'm sorry that you guys had to go through the things that you had to go through as well. Nobody deserves to go through that. And with that being said, I wish Kyrie Irving the best of luck.